Welcome everybody to Journal with Me plus your angel messages. Happy Saturday morning. Today is day 16 of the Journal with Me challenge that I imposed upon myself. If you haven't been here for previous ones, no problem. You're welcome to join in. The challenge was for me to go live 30 days in a row and show you my morning routine, my morning journaling routine, which has been such an invaluable part of deepening my connection with the angels. Ooh, that candle is really spiking there. So we are on day 16, like I said, and I am just having so much fun doing this. It is so valuable. I'd love to hear if any of you did the full moon angel card spread yesterday on your own. And if you did it with me yesterday, did any insights come through? Plus, since we're getting to chat every day, I'd love to hear how you're doing. How are you feeling? I'm telling you, my dreams were chaotic last night, so I'm grateful that I'm grateful to be awake. They were just jarring and weird and uncomfortable, and I think there's a reason for that. I can look at the astrology and get an idea for sure. And if you are joining me live, I'd love to hear where you're joining from. Just let me know how you're doing too. And of course, if you're watching the recording later, I love seeing you in the comments. So thank you so much. I've got my coffee here. Getting a little bit of a later start since it is a Saturday for me. And, you know, just kind of, it's funny getting up and getting ready in the morning. I pretty much immediately sit down and start journaling. But I do say my prayers, I get a cup of coffee, and then I realize, oh, especially since I've been doing this challenge, oh, look, I didn't set up the camera for today's journal with me, or my mic's not on. So definitely, sometimes it catches me by surprise, like, oh, I scheduled that live. It's time to hit go. So I've got my coffee here, and we're going to pull some angel cards to get started. Good morning, Leah. East Texas. Okay, I didn't realize that. Yeah, I'm here north of San Antonio, South Central Texas. Awesome. How are you doing? How did the full moon treat you? Did you end up doing your own full moon spread, or did you just use the messages we got yesterday? So I'm going to do my normal beginning where we'll start with our first angel card. And usually I just let the messages come through very openly, but I wanted to add a little structure today because I think that could be valuable to everybody watching. And, you know, usually when I pull an angel card, it's simply just an extension of me. It's not exactly the card, right? Like we're not reading exactly the card. We're getting a feeling. So other thoughts and emotions and ideas and visions will come through, and it's important that we are noting those. So as we get started, and by the way, if you are new here, welcome. I'm Devon. Thank you for being here. If you are new here, you know, I do very carefully look at everything that comes through with the card, and I don't take it literally. But I do say that prayer protection before I get started, which I did this morning. Like I said, that's usually actually the first thing I do is my prayers. Then I grab my coffee and sit down to start journaling. But so the new structure we're going to do today is I asked the angels, can we have the first card represent the recent past, as in the last 24 to 72 hours? And then can the middle card be representing the energy of today and anything we need to know today? And then can the third card be the near future? So either later today or within the next day or two. So let's try that out, because that's one of the fun things to do too, is just try different ways of asking for help from the angels. And so we're gonna start with that first card. well, of course, we're going to go right to the next blank spot in my journal. So I hope you have your journal handy, and I hope you will notice any signs or symbols that come through for you as well. And yeah, I see people joining here. I'd love to hear how you're doing this morning. How'd you sleep last night? How'd the full moon treat you? And if you want to let me know where you're tuning in from, like Leah did. Thank you, Leah. So we're going to go to the first blank spot in my journal. This is where I track my angel cards that I pull every day. I always start off by writing the date. November 16th. My goodness, right? Can you believe next week is Thanksgiving? Not this week, but next week if you're here in the U.S. It just hit me last night that it's so close because we have not made any plans. I mean, we all kind of cook the same things, but I also like to try new things, new desserts. And I'm like, I haven't even thought about that. Leah says, I did a ceremony. I did your spread. I am playing with various card spreads as I am taking a spiritual tarot class about major arcana that has a bunch of channel info and healing work. Oh, awesome. I love that, Leah. Good morning, MJ from Phoenix. Love Phoenix. That's so awesome. We've taken a couple of trips to Scottsdale on spring breaks with my girls. They're like, when are we going back to Scottsdale? Okay, so I always go to the date there and I start off with thank you, God, for today. And I abbreviate it TGT. And then, of course, I say morning, angels and guides. And that's just my way of setting another energetic protection around connecting directly with my spiritual team, right? I'm not connecting with just anybody. We're connecting with our guardian angels, archangels, spirit guides, higher self, ascended masters, right? Very intentional that I am connecting in that way. And then we'll pull the first card. We'll do an affirmation and a journaling prompt. So again, this card's going to represent the recent past for us. All righty. Did I lose you guys on the internet? My internet is being wonky right now. Darn it. Can everybody hear me okay? Let me know if you can hear me okay. The first card, oh my goodness. The first card is the Hermit, Archangel Ratziel. Spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, and self-discovery. What did we do this week? What have we been doing? Leah said she did ceremony too. I mean, my goodness, this is exactly what a lot of us have been doing in the recent past. I definitely did that yesterday. I spent a lot of time on my own I did some research. I looked into some teachings of some things. And this is exactly what happened recently. And the reason I wanted to try this out today with you all is just to show you how the angels love to validate what's going on for us, to allow us to understand we really are deeply connected to our spiritual team. Leah says, I liked living in Scottsdale, except the blazing Hades part. Well, it sure gets hot here in Texas too, though, doesn't it? At least in East Texas, it's a different heat, right? Yeah, and you've got the greenery. You've got the big trees out where you are too. So, yeah. But it sure gets hot here in San Antonio too. I liked that it was at least dry heat when we went to Scottsdale. And of course, we went in spring, so it wasn't bad at all. So this is our first card here, right? So, let's do an affirmation. I enjoy self-discovery. If you want to write that in the comments below this video, you're welcome to. I enjoy self-discovery. So that's our pocket affirmation to get started today. And then let's start with a journaling prompt. I think we're going to go with kind of the it's not generic, but it's my go-to journaling prompt when I'm doing some kind of spread. And like I said, we're going to be doing the recent past, present, and near future. And then I'll pull some clarifications as needed. So your journaling prompt today is, angels and guides, what do I need to know right now? Angels and guides, what do I need to know right now? So that is a great way to start off every day that you are pulling angel cards. Good morning, Truth or Fears. Thank you for writing that in there. Yes. Yesterday, I was definitely doing some research on some things. I was actually listening to some things while I was doing some stuff around the house. Got a few Christmas decorations up. I always think it's going to go faster than it is. I'm like, oh, I'll knock out the Christmas decorations today. And then I'm like, whoops, that didn't happen. All right, so we had that first card, the Hermit. That's why we were talking about, what we've been recently doing. So this is a recent past, like within the last 24 to 72 hours. Now let's remember to do our routine record. If you keep track of your moods and your habits, I highly recommend it. I usually do it first, but since we've been doing these angel cards, I wanted to set the tone. And yesterday I was able to get everything done on my routine record. And then my mood was very joyful. I got to get some things done I've been wanting to. I got to take my time. It wasn't a rush day. Mondays through Thursdays tend to be more packed with going here and there. Fridays can be, but luckily it was a pretty peaceful day. I was even able to get help picking up my kids from school, so I had a little more time to do what I was doing. And I do ask the angels for help with something like that. If it's in our highest interest, can someone offer or help me out with this errand or whatever? And they pull through if it's in our highest interest, right? Otherwise, it might not be in the highest interest. It might be that it needs to be me because I need to be there for something, right? So that's how I always look at it. And I do encourage you to track this. The other thing we need to take a look at, since I know a lot of you do pay attention to the stars, which of course you don't have to, but I find it very valuable. Yesterday, the moon was still in Taurus. So I'm going to put that little glyph there. I was showing you guys another way to track is to also look at the moon signs. But last night, early this morning, the moon moved into Gemini. So I'm just going to put that here just to remind me that today the moon is in Gemini. And, my dreams got really weird and all over the place after the moon moved into Gemini. So I'm going to try to figure out how to journal about them, but that's what happens with dreams sometimes where they're so choppy. It's like, what do I make of that? So if that happens to you or has recently happened to you with a dream, you're like, okay, I feel like I need to write this down for some reason. Of course, always give it a title, but you could track the emotion you had with it, right? So I definitely was having like the emotions were that feeling like I forgot something. They were feelings like I had overlooked something. And there was a little bit of frustration. So it's probably going to be more of when I put it in my intuition tracker, over here, I'm going to go to the next blank page in here on my intuition tracker, put the date. I'll put anybody who was in the dream because I did have certain people in my dream. I'll put that it was a dream, and then I'll say, frustrating, painful energy of feeling I forgot something, that kind of a thing. So something like that. And you don't have to track dreams you don't want to, but I do find it interesting. Truth or Fear says, same here, cleaning out my parents' estate, and I am honoring the process and learning how to sit with these emotions and trusting in divine timing. Yeah, that's good for you for taking the time with that. You're going to have so much. Your future self is thanking you right now for taking the time with that And my condolences as well. Yes, hugs to you. Truth or Fears, I'm a Gemini sun and Gemini rising. Okay, learning how to get out of my head and learning how to feel, not think how I feel. Cancer moon. Learning how to journal. Thank you. Oh, I'm so grateful you are. This will be such a valuable thing for you, especially with what you're going through. And those Cancer emotions, they go deep, right? They go so deep. Oh, Leah's a Gemini rising too and a Cancer moon. Isn't that funny how we kind of all find each other? Because I'm a Cancer sun, Taurus moon, but I do have Mars in Gemini. And just since we are talking about this, I do want to mention too, we do have later today, we did have Venus square the North Node this morning. But later today, we have Sun oppose Uranus. And that'll be this evening, 9:44 p.m. There's that angel number, Eastern, 8:44 Central, 6:44 Pacific. And that's a rebellious energy, but it also, it can be something that helps us break through something, right? Something we've been dealing with. So if anything came up over the last few days for release, you might have just this huge aha moment and say, you know what? I'm not putting up with this anymore. I'm going to change this in my life, right? So again, that reminder to respond, not react, because it is Mars in Leo right now, which is a burst of fiery energy. So yeah, those are fun things to track in there too, in case it's something, as I always show you, I do put some of the bigger things in my calendar portion of this so that I can easily use that gift of hindsight. So, for example, I heard from a friend I hadn't heard from in a while, and it made me so happy to wake up to a voice message from her. And I think earlier that day or the day before, there were cards that came up about receiving messages and good news. So in the message, it was good news. It was an opportunity to meet up with her coming up down the road. So it definitely came true. And I have to use hindsight for that, because when we're pulling the cards, we don't always know exactly, what they're talking about until we have that hindsight. I share their fears. We all feel that way, right? That's it. I'm not putting up with myself. That's cute. I love that. That's hilarious. But yeah. And by the way, thank you for hitting the likes there. If I'm trying to remember to ask earlier in the video, if you haven't already hit the like button on this video and share it, that would be huge. Thank you so much. Also, don't forget, there are my freebies linked below. If you'd like my prayer protection, or you'd like my full moon or new moon spread, it's not too late to do the full moon spread if you still want to do it, or you just want to do another version of it to keep practicing and learning. Okay, let's pull another card here. We have 10 of Air. The end of a difficult situation. Embrace the change and expect things to get better now. Also, it says recovering from an addiction. So, maybe somebody in your life is going through that. Maybe you felt addicted to a certain, thought process or idea, and you're realizing it's just not for me anymore. That's what that full moon brings up. And one of the things to keep in mind too is a lot of times these things are subtle, especially when you journal every day. I find that a lot of times I will realize what is going to be released with the full moon before the actual apex, because of the daily journaling. So it doesn't have to be like a mystery what it is, right? So what was the first thing that came to mind when you saw end of a difficult situation, embrace the change, expect things to get better, right? 10 of Swords, it's a message card. So, especially in communication, maybe you have been having a hard time communicating with someone, and we're going to expect it to get better. Maybe As we said earlier, we need to allow our mental process. Oop, that's my alarm. I thought I turned that off. Maybe we need to end, again, that mental process of rehashing things. Should have, could have, would have's, right? We got to get out of that. That's what I'm seeing right now. So this, again, is the current energy for today. We want to start expecting things to get better. So I did forget to write the first card here because we were talking, but the first card we pulled, which is, we are doing it specifically the recent past. Like within the last 24 to 72 hours, we had the Hermit. And what stood out to me was self-discovery. So I'm writing that next to it because yes, I was deep in self-discovery. We all are doing this journal with me together. And then the second card, of course, was the Ten of Air. And I really feel that expecting things to get better is the key message there. Because what's the opposite of that? Expecting the worst, right? Self-fulfilling prophecies. So definitely we want to expect things to get better. And we ask the angels for help with that. All right, so that's the energy for right now at the time you're watching this video, and of course, all day today. But I did ask for the third card to represent the near future, so that could be later today, tomorrow, within the next 24 to 72 hours. And we have the Six of Fire, also the Six of Wands, right? Leah knows. Victory, good news is on its way, public recognition or awards. This is a really good card for the near future. I love this card for all of us, especially with that Sun opposed Uranus coming up later today, right? That's exciting. This is being in the spotlight. Everybody's looking at this night, and this night is moving quickly, and it's not a knight, it's a person. Sorry, I said that wrong. But the person on the card, I tend to see the horse and assume that, but the person on the card is being recognized for something valuable that they brought to the community or to the world, and all the magic around is celebrating this person. So that's you, and that's you in the near future. So I love that. I really feel like that could be speaking to that Sun opposed Uranus. So let's write that down. 3, 6 of Fire, the third card. Alrighty, now we're going to pull them all together and see just an overall energy here. This crystal's putting a shade on there. There we go. So when I look at them all together, my attention goes to, of course, the present energy, which is that we've got to be intentional with our thoughts, intentional with our actions, intentional about the way we view the future. And then that's going to bring us this victory of overcoming things, right? And, I really feel, for example, the example you shared, Truth or Fears, about what you're going through right now, finding ways to make the process healing, and even, putting on an Audible book or audiobook or a YouTube video that's really uplifting or is deepening your spiritual knowledge. I've recently been diving deeper into understanding the Syrian culture because my Venus is conjunct the star Sirius, and I've had several experiences that I just want to identify. And so I was listening to a lot of videos about the star Sirius yesterday, even just like astronomy, just understanding like how far away it is and how it's the brightest star in the sky. Speaking of Phoenix, MJ, I don't know if MJ's still here. Was it MJ that was in Phoenix? Um, yes. When we were in Scottsdale back in, I think it was 2023, I was sitting out on a balcony at the hotel we were at with my husband, just enjoying the sky. And I was like, what is that amazing, gorgeous star right there above us? And of course, it was Sirius. And I just got all these angel bumps because I've had so many different experiences with that star. And from what people talk about, the culture of the beings from Sirius is really, really resonates with me. I had an Akashic Records lady say I've actually incarnated there multiple times before I came to Earth. But I take things from my own experience first. I listen and I observe, just as you are all doing here. But then you have to check in with whether that's authentic or not. So far, everything I'm finding, I think she was right. But I'm going to keep searching for that knowledge. And that's what this Hermit card is. So let's do a clarification card because I really feel that this is a really positive energy here. But in fact, I'm probably going to pull at least 2 clarification cards because what I'm going to ask the angels for now is what are some actions I can take today to help bring me to this place of victory? What are some actions I can take today? And you could also say, or in the near future. What are some actions I can take today or in the near future to bring in this victory? My handwriting when I'm trying to talk, not that great. I have that left hand thing where if I want to, I can have pretty handwriting, but usually when I'm in a hurry, it looks like this. So I think that's a really great question to ask because I feel this on the horizon for all of us watching now live or even later on the recording. I really feel, remember the power is within us to shift our world. It really, really is. And this is showing us all we have to do is watch our thoughts. Expect victory, right? So let's pull some clarification here. Seven of Fire. So we asked, what can I do right now, today, in the near future to bring in this victory? It says, defend your beliefs and decisions, stand your ground, and choose your battles wisely. We got this card yesterday with a full moon spread. And that choose your battles wisely, that's that reminder to respond, not react, right? So really powerful. Of course, this would also be the 7 of Wands in the tarot. Truth or Fear says being here in the moment is the first step. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. One of the things when I lost a loved one, in 2019, I lost a close loved one, and I would tell myself, I used to do a lot of hot yoga because I lived close to a hot yoga studio. I don't anymore. I miss it. But I would tell myself that all I had to do was get to the mat that day. And if I didn't get anything else done that day, that was okay. Because the grief is so heavy sometimes. And also you might think you're feeling fine and then here comes a grief bomb, right? So I love that you say that, Truth or Fears. Yes, I'm grateful for you too. It's a great reminder. Thank you. I'm sorry for yours as well. I mean, we all have to go through it, right? But it is one of those things where we put so much pressure on ourselves, and it's healing takes time. So I just remember telling myself, just get yourself to the mat. Just get yourself to the mat. And that really was the best thing I could have done because I needed to take care of my body, and it was really the only thing that got me moving for a while. And just slowly but surely it got easier and easier. And luckily I knew enough about yoga that it would help with grief and releasing things. But any activity that you can do for yourself that is nurturing, and setting the bar low enough that it was easy to get to. He was 87. Yes, but we're never ready. We're never ready to lose our loved ones. So yeah, I understand. Again, sending you hugs. So I love this card though for what we can do today. So I'm going to write that down for clarification. I'm just going to put number 4, even though. And then I'm going to pull one more because I feel like usually 2 clarification cards can really give us the whole picture. And again, if you're just joining us a little later, this was recent past, current energy, and near future, either later today or within the next 24, 72 hours. This is clarification. This is what can we do right now today. And we're going to do one more to really pull it together. And we have the Justice card. The Justice card with defend your beliefs. It says fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right. And again, stand up for your beliefs. Okay, so you know how I like to ask the angels for loud and clear messages. They just basically repeated themselves. They're like, we already told you. Stand up for your beliefs. Choose your battles wisely. Do what you know is right. So yeah, I really feel it's important to, as we move through the day, truth or fears. I love what you said about being in the moment. If anything comes up in our mind and our thought process, if somebody else comes at us with something that just hits us wrong, trying to breathe through that, pause, be present, and decide, is this the battle I want to choose, or do I want to respond, not react, by removing myself from that situation? And, but I'm not going to give in on what I know is right in my heart. So I love that we got these 2 fire cards here. But again, this Justice card, he has a sword. So that's also with 10 of Airs, this 10 of Swords. It's cutting away the things that are not fair and just, that won't allow you to stand up for your beliefs. So that might mean turning off the news, not joining that group of people tonight that give you a hard time about your spiritual practice, not getting out into a crowded space where the energy is too much for you. So all of these cards, though, are really encouraging you that you are on the right path today and you have all the power within. So it is now 7:33 my time, so we're going to wrap up with that angel number. Don't forget, I'm releasing new angel numbers every day until Tuesday, so there will be a new one later today. I love seeing your comments there. Don't forget to like and share this video if you haven't already, and hit that subscribe button. And check out the angel number today. It's coming on at 9 Central, the number 1010, which I see 1010 all the time, not just on the clock. So thank you all for being here. I will see you tomorrow. And remember, take time every day to connect with the angels.